Hola, clase! I hope you are all doing so well during your time at home or stationed wherever you are for the next few weeks. I am in Michigan right now, and we have a pretty much a lockdown where just essential businesses are open. So we are not leaving the house. We are trying to maintain as much sanity as possible with three kids at home. And so far, so good. And I just hope that everyone else, especially my students and their families, are able to stay healthy and also happy during this time. So, what I wanted to do was discuss a few things with you that are going to help you prepare to finish out the semester. And there are actually two opportunities that I have created, and there will be one more coming for extra credit. So I'll share the two with you, and I'll show you where to put them. And I'll also show you the remainder of the semester schedule. So let's go to, let's see, we're going to go to our homepage. It looks a little bit different now because we've got this huge bulletin board here. And it is explaining that we have a revised schedule and we have starting module 9, so modules 9, 10, 11, and 12. We have removed a lot of assignments so that you are more available to spend the time that you do have if you have a shortened amount of time online. And you are able to really focus on the major assignments only. So we spent a lot of time removing what we felt like the students didn't absolutely have to know moving forward and finishing out the semester. And it wasn't easy, but that's what we ended up doing. We hid some assignments so you won't be able to see some. And those assignments are no longer in your grade book, and they're also no longer in the drop boxes. So the quizzes that we hid, you won't see them anymore. And you'll find that list when you click on the revised schedule link here. When you click on that link, it's going to take you to a PDF file. And that PDF file gives you the items that you have to complete per category. So here are the things that you have to put in the Dropbox still. Here are the things that you have to complete with the discussion still for modules 9, 10, 11, 12. So finish up 7, finish up 8, and then move on to these last 4 modules. So here you will be able to click and find your revised schedule with the items crossed off, if that is helpful to you to see. And keep in mind that this is a different teacher schedule just because there was no need to create one for every single one of us that teaches Spanish too. So we all just copied our lead teacher's schedule and pasted it into this link. So don't worry because it says Professor Carlos Fernandez and it doesn't say Senora Dineen. It's still the one that we're doing, so it applies to us. Okay, so next thing I wanted to point out, I have posted the first extra credit opportunity of 2 here on our homepage. It's in the news section. So this gives a great description of what we're doing, how to submit it, where to turn it in, what to do. Here is a second example of what you should be doing. So it's the title of a painting. You find a painting by a Spanish speaking artist or an artist that was born in a Spanish speaking country. And then you create the let's see, what are we doing? We are not necessarily duplicating, we're reenacting the painting. And the reason why I wanted to show you this example is because I wanted to remind you that you can also use family members. So the student used his or her father. I don't remember if the student was a boy or girl, but they used their dad, and this student ended up doing it herself. So the second extra credit opportunity is, again, with the Las Artes module, Módulo 6. What we are going to be doing is recreating, let me see, it might be a little bit large here. I'll just put it in like this so that every one of you can still see what we're doing. Okay. And I'll go on this side. So you might have to pause this because I'm just going through, and I'm going to post this presentation onto the homepage so that you will get it. But when you download the presentation onto the homepage, you're going to be able to find this, and it's a portrait recreation of Frida Kahlo, who is a Mexican artist, and she did a lot of self-portraits. So here are some notes on Frida Kahlo. I want to go through them just really quickly because, again, this presentation will be online for you on our homepage. She painted herself really sad. She had a very difficult life, and most of the time when she painted, it was to express those really traumatic emotions. So that was her go-to emotion when she painted. Think of an emotion that you would like to paint if you were to create a self-portrait of yourself. And the first slide is an example of how you can easily create a self-portrait. This is just a practice slide, part of the extra credit. So the first one is recreate one of Frida Kahlo's self-portraits. Then think about creating your own self-portrait. So paintings tell stories in a picture. What's the story you would want to tell? And it doesn't have to necessarily be a story. It's just a portrait, but how can I tell the story in my self-portrait, just with myself? She painted her portraits in Mexico, so she was very proud of the heritage and she loved the beauty of Mexico, and she showed that a lot in her paintings. Where or what can you use as your setting? What is so important to you? Sometimes Frida painted symbols from Mexican mythology. She used symbols of religion and politics. She used a lot of symbols of animals. So think of, if I were to create a self-portrait, what would be a part of that portrait? What is something that is so symbolic, so important to me? And it doesn't necessarily have to be metaphorical. It could be like a literal, this is very important to me. So, for example, like number 5, out of the 143 paintings, 55 of them are self-portraits, and most of them show the paintings of animals within her self-portrait. So, what is important to you, and how could you use that during your story that you create in your portrait? And the detalles, the details, your emotion, your story, your setting, and your symbols that are important to you. How do they represent your feelings? And this is just an example of the background that you can use. You don't necessarily have to include a frame like this, but that's going to be your title, un autorretrato por, and then your name. All right, and then Pablo Picasso is a totally different artist, and he is from Spain. And he created the style called Cubismo. And a lot of that, this is the perfect example of Cubismo. So this is a portrait that Pablo Picasso created. And how is it so different from the ones that Frida Kahlo did, where she created a lot of emotion, but in a very literal, this is a painting of me, this is what my face looks like. Pablo Picasso did not do that. His are a lot different. The style is not similar at all to Frida Kahlo's. Again, we're going to create our own. So this is going to be part of our extra credit. The colors are very different in Pablo Picasso's paintings. Think about them. What are the details that you see that are a lot different? Is there something that you're picking out that is very unique to now Pablo Picasso's paintings? You're going to make your own. So this is the practice one that's part of our extra credit. And then you're going to have your own autorretrato in the cubismo style. So the beginning is already here laid out for you. Again, it's in the PowerPoint presentation, so don't worry about getting your own. But here's the style. Here's the start of my autorretrato cubismo. And how can I create my portrait using this style? And here again are examples of his work. I think he's showing a lot. I think it's harder to understand because it's not literal. When things are more abstract, it is more difficult to pick out very literal details. So you've got 2 extra credit assignments. The first one is the painting recreation, and the second is 2 self-portraits. And the details are going to be listed on the news section of how and when to submit this assignment, just like they are with the other one. Okay. Again, hopefully everyone's staying safe and healthy and happy. And I will talk to you soon. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to email me. The rest of the semester will look a lot different, but I'm here to help. I'm always accessible via email or phone call. Adios.